Yes, hello once again. I'm Hassan Were from Applied Computing and IT from the Faculty of Computing and Informatics. We are going to go through web development from scratch. The tools that we need a web browser that is going to help us view what we have coded, view what we have done in our text editor. And the second tool is a text editor that is going to help us write different codes to command the browser on what to display. You check on my previous video on how to install Sublime as one of the text editors, but there are different text editors that you can use. But for learning purposes, we are just going to use Sublime Text Editor 3, and then we proceed. So one thing that you'll have to do is to create a folder on your desktop, and then you rename it, of course, the name of the project. But for us, we are going to use the name of the class, which is BBA Web Development. So the second thing that you do after creating the folder is to add the resources into that folder. Resources could be the CSS style sheets, it could be the images, it could be the videos. But in this case, let us just try to put there our images. We open this folder and then we put here the images. As you can see, I already have my image folder here. I have a number of images, like 5 of them. We are going to utilize them. Then we go ahead and open our Sublime Text Editor. You go and open the Sublime Text Editor. Once you open this text editor, the first thing you do is to add the files in those different files that you're creating in the folder that we have created on the desktop. So our first page on the website is known as an index page, or the home page, the landing page. So what we are going to do here, I'm going to click on Save As, Control S to save. So here I put the file name. The file name is index. I prefer low cases, so I will type here index.html, index.html. I locate where my folder is, and my folder is on desktop. The folder is known as BBA. I open this folder where you even see that we have our images inside here. I go ahead and save this. We can go ahead and also create a style sheet. Control N for a new file, or you can just go onto the file here and click on new file. Okay, so we save this one. Simply because it is a style sheet, let us just use the general name of style.css. Style.css, because it's a cascaded style sheet. So we go ahead and save this as well. Let us go back to our HTML file here, index.html, and I put what we call the HTML structure. For us to put the HTML structure, we just type HTML in Sublime. We type HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, the one that we are using to design our website. So once you do this, you press the tab button. The tab button is above the caps lock button on your left hand side. So you press the caps lock. Let me try to zoom it a bit, and then we see this is what we call the HTML structure. Now inside the HTML structure, we have, this is the opening tag. What you see on line 2 is the opening tag of the HTML, and it's just like that with the different angle brackets, the opening angle brackets and the word HTML. And then on line 11, we have what we call the closing HTML tag. It has the / before the word HTML. So any closing tag must have a / before whatever the element that is trying to close. Now, inside the HTML tag, we have two tags. We have what we call the head tag on line 3 and the closing head tag on line 7. Then you also have the second one being the body tag on line 8 and the closing body tag on line 10. Now, whatever you want the browser to know or to understand before it loads itself, before it makes any display, must be put inside the inside the head tag. When I say inside the head tag, it is between the opening tag of the head and the closing tag of the head. Then, whatever you want to display in your web browser, given the paragraph, given the links, given the images, among others, must be put inside the body tag. When I say inside the body tag, I mean in between the opening tag of the body and the closing tag of the body. So these are the two main tags that are within the HTML tag. So if we want to link our CSS file, it's supposed to be put inside the head tag. So it will be put inside this. But for now, we are not interested in the CSS. What we are interested in are the different HTML elements and how we can achieve displaying them. For example, the first one are the text. How do you display the text in form of the paragraph? To display the text, we use a P standing in for a paragraph tag. So we use a P tag and then we press tab button. You're going to be utilizing the tab button, and I've told you that the tab button on your keyboard is above the caps lock. We press on the tab button and it gives us the opening tag of the paragraph and the closing tag of the paragraph. So whatever we want to display in form of a paragraph must be written between those two tags, the opening tag of the paragraph and the closing tag of the paragraph. So here I'll type, for example, a default paragraph, which is by using the tab rem, and then I tab to have that. Whatever you want to display, you must save. Every change that you make on your website, you must save those changes. Then let us try to launch it in a web browser to see if at all it can display something for us. For us to load that, we can just right click inside the HTML file. Inside here, anywhere here, you can go ahead and right click. When you right click, you go to open in the browser. Open in the browser, we allow our browser to load. When you allow our browser to load, we expect the browser to load. Let me just choose this one, load using that one. Then it will load for us. When it loads, we are seeing that we have a paragraph in this format. I'm just trying to zoom it a bit. That's a paragraph. So for us to put a paragraph, we use the paragraph tag, which is a P tag, to represent in that manner. What about if you want to put an image? For us to put an image, we use what we call the image tag, standing in for IMG. The IMG, then we tab. It will ask for the source. You find that in our main folder that we created, we have the folder known as images. So I'll type images, / then the name of the image. Let us try to open this, whatever, and we see our folder. Our folder is on desktop here, and the folder name is BBA Web. And inside this folder, we have a folder known as images. Are you seeing it here? It is the same that I'm passing here, images. Okay? So when I click on this, I open this folder, I find that I have the images within this folder, and these images have the extension. I can change the way they display so that I see the extension. I see this extension under type. We have what we call the JPG. In most cases, that's what we use. So I have the file name as img1 with a JPG file extension. So I'll go ahead here and I type img1, for example, if it's the image that I want, with a JPG extension. I save this. Once I save this, I go back to our web browser and refresh. Ctrl R to refresh. Then we see that we have the image loaded inside here. Let me try to put it inside so that we can see it clearly. So this is our image. Okay? So there are different ways, ladies and gentlemen, that we can use to display the different HTML files onto the web page. If you've learned something, please go ahead and practice so that you perfect better. Next time we meet, let us look onto the different ways of connecting different HTML pages. Thank you so much.